Galatians chapter 5, verse number 16. And we'll read some verses. It says, I say then, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusts against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary to one another, so that you do not do the things that you wish. Alright? So, today we're going to talk about, because if you look towards around yourself, you will see so much bad things going on, right?
Yes.
Even not in, and we was talking this morning, I was teaching in my class also, and we was talking about how bad things are going on all over the world. Like, there's so much evil around you.
Yes.
I mean, it's not, if we look into just in America, I mean, 85% people claims that they are Christian, but it's not mean that they are following Christianity. It's not mean that they are following Jesus, but they said that, okay, I'm Christian, just to be counted, just to be come in to that Christianity, this line, or say, oh, I'm Christian. So, and in other part of the world, you will see there's so much bad things going on. So today, we're going to talk about that, today's my topic is that spirit versus flesh. How the spirit, a flesh, is always against the spirit.
Yes.
And what if we want to do something right, flesh always come against us or stand in front of us and say, don't do this, because it's like flesh try to be more stronger than our spirit. So today we're going to say, you can say that walking in spirit, how we can have to walk in spirit or live by the spirit, you can call anything this message. Let me tell you one story. A captain voice came into a PA when there was an aeroplane and they was going somewhere, and over a PA system, and the aeroplane, and he said that I just want to tell you that from last 3 hours we was disconnected from radio, radar, and any kind of, and we are not connected with anything, and we are just going. And they was like, they was like scared. But you know what he said? He said that the excellent thing is this, you know what? We are just going into wherever, they say that they are lost, but the thing is, we are having an excellent time here. Can you believe that? He said that we know we are lost, we know we are not heading to a right direction, but we still have an excellent time. We are enjoying, we don't have any problem. People think in our life, in today's, that they are on the right. They think since we are enjoying, since we have great time, since we are living in a great life, we have money, we have all these kind of things, it means that we are heading towards right direction and everything is okay, we have excellent time, right? But you need to understand, having just an excellent time is not enough. You need to know your direction, you need to know where are you going, your destiny. If you don't know your destiny, you're lost.
That's right.
And if you're lost, how can you have a great time? I don't understand that.
Right.
But this is what people are doing. They say, oh, I'm happy, I'm joyful, I'm fine, I'm okay. Because I have all the things that I needed, all the worldly things. But this is not what we need. Let me tell you another thing. So when people get saved, once they're saved, what they need to do? They can do whatever they want to? No. Right? Stay with me. That's not what they need to do. Once you are saved, because first thing is, of course, you have to save to come to go move further. But once you are saved, you have to, Bible says that work out your own salvation by fear and trembling. You have to work out. You have to do something. You cannot just sit there and say, okay, God will help me, or I'm going to sit here and everything will be alright. No. You have to move further. And always, I wrote in my book also, and I teach that course, spirit, soul and body. For example, if I say, I'm a spirit, I have a soul, and I live in a body. So once you are saved, your spirit saved instantly, but you have to work out on your soul. And what is your soul? Your soul is your mind, your emotion, your behavior, your attitude, and your personality. You have to change that. This is not an overnight process. If you are saved tonight and next morning when you wake up and look into the mirror and say, oh, I'm a totally changed person. And I'm not going to do any more sin now. I'm totally, it's not happen like that. If you look into the morning, next morning, your hair is same, your hands are same, everything is same. It's been that nothing changed. The only thing changed is your spirit. But your soul, your mind, emotion, behavior, everything is still same. You have to work on that. And to work on that, you need to do what? You need to read the Bible every single day, and you have to pray every single day, and you have to do fasting and all these kind of things if you want to move forward. Let me tell you, this is what Christian needs to do. But let me tell you, in Old Testament, how flesh was against people. I mean, those people who were greatest people in the Bible, but flesh was so much overcome on them that they fell down. For example, Adam and Eve in the beginning. You know that God created Adam and Eve as a perfect. What was happening in the beginning? The Spirit was ruling on their whole being. In the beginning, the Spirit was ruling on them before the sin. Is that right? But what happens when Satan came to Eve and said that look at that tree, look at that fruit. It's so delicious, it's so good and it's so delicious that it will open your eyes and you will see. So what was Satan was trying to do? That Satan's job was over there to try to awake the soulish or fleshly part of Eve. And, so spirit will go down and soulish part will come up, and he got a result for that, and he got success in that. How come? When Eve say, okay, I mean, that's great. I will be able to see things. And her soulish part, because, soul or flesh goes by what you see, what you smell, what you touch, what you hear, things like that. This is what our flesh goes. But faith goes what? You don't see things, but you don't see God. But you believe on that, right? That's faith. But flesh part or soulish part, so Satan tried to awake that soulish part. And this is how the Eve, did sin, and then, did eat fruit and then gave it to Adam, and he did. And after that, they saw themselves, they are naked. But before they were not. It's mean because after that, they can see things. The soulish part was more alive, and fleshly part was ruling on them instead of their spirit part.
That's right.
And this is happening today. And then let's go to the next person. For example, Moses. Moses, a man of God. But what happens when one Hebrew and Egyptian person was fighting each other, and you remember that Moses was there and his flesh came on him. His soulish part came on him, and he murdered, he killed that Egyptian person. So you see, flesh always try to do things that we don't want to do, but because it's a battle between your flesh and your spirit. It's always a battle, and it's for every single person. And we have that battle every single moment. Can you believe that? Every single moment, you have to struggle with that. You have to live with this battle. If you are stronger spiritually, your spirit will rule on your being. Amen. But if you're stronger in flesh part, that's going to be bad then. Yes. You're going to make wrong choices. You're going to go in wrong direction. This is how Moses did. Later on, if you go to the story of David, look at David, what he did. Man of God. The person who is after God's heart. Yeah. God loves him so much. He loves God so much. But just one moment, flesh overcame on him. Yes. He went on his roof. He saw a woman. She was bathing. When he saw, flesh came, and he was not able to overcome on that, temptation. And he said, oh, she's so beautiful. This is where it starts. When you look a woman and say, she's beautiful. And the next step, I don't know what to say, but look at her this, look at her that. Yeah. And then you go from there, and then you go from next to next, and this is how it starts. Right? This is how it starts. But the first thing, she's so beautiful. This is where it starts, right?
Yes.
And then afterward, David said, bring her to me, and then they have what? They have sex. I mean, David commits adultery.
Yes.
Just because of one moment of time, he was not able to control his flesh.
That's right.
And this is what we need to understand today. How can we put this fleshly part under our spirit? Because if we are not doing this, Satan can ruin your life.
That's right.
With a moment of just one moment. If you give just one moment to Satan, he will ruin your life like this. You cannot even imagine. And that they will say, oh no, I shouldn't do that. I mean, are you going to say, oh, and later on he apologized, God apologized, and then, he came back. But thing is, your fleshly part is always take you to the wrong direction. So it's very important that we have to understand that. Okay, so let me tell you the battle between flesh and spirit and the strife. Sometimes the things that we want to do, we are not able to do, right? The right things. Like Paul saying, if I go to try to do something right, end up goes wrong because flesh comes on the way. Our flesh is, make us weak. And you say, we will be living by the flesh or by the spirit. Not both. So we have to choose one way to go.
Amen.
Either we go on left, or either we want to go on right. Either we want to go on the flesh side, or either we want to go on the spirit side. You have to decide that. You cannot say, okay, God, now, give me a little bit of time. I'm going to go to the flesh side, and I'm going to come back to the spirit side. You can't do that.
No.
You can't cheat God. In Revelation, Bible tells us, you have to be either cold or you have to be either hot.
That's right.
You can't be in the middle. You understand? Because this is what even the Christian people are doing today.
Yeah.
They sometimes go, okay, God, don't look at me. I'm going to do this thing wrong, and I know it's wrong, but I'm going to do it, and I'm going to come back and say sorry and things like that. No. That's not right. That's not going to work out. You have to choose one way.
Amen.
And you have to battle against this flesh that comes out of and take control of your body. We need to understand that. If you look at the Christian, we reject the flesh, we still do stupid things. We say means things, do hurtful deeds and cause harm to others. We give in to the flesh. The flesh takes us back for those times. The works of the flesh. Some of the works of the flesh in these days right now. Like sexual sin, immorality. Like for example, the broadest term for sexual acts, all types of illicit sexual behavior. Sex is meant to be for marriage, right?
Yes.
But it's a gift from God.
That's right.
But what's happening? Human nature perverts this gift, and we take that God mean as blessing and make a curse. For example, if you just look into the teen pregnancy in USA. I was reading a book. Actually, it's my course in doctorate degree. It's a youth counseling. And it's telling all the facts of how people are premarital like sex and having like teenager pregnancy in USA and all. And that facts just blew my mind away that, oh my gosh, what is going on? If you look into just the teen pregnancy in America, nearly 1 million teens gets pregnant every year in America. Just in America, 1 million. That's bad. And then if you look into and you know how much? $40 billion government is providing for their families and stuff like that. $40 billion on that sinful act.
Yeah.
And if you go to like AIDS in America is more than 1.2 million people in USA are living under HIV infection. 1.2 millions. And I was reading some statistics and everything, and mostly people who have HIV, I'm sorry to say that, but this is true, are gay. They're gay, and they're mostly people have HIV AIDS, are gay people. So this is what is happening in this world. But I was talking in this morning in my class, oh, this is a Christian, people was telling, my students were telling me, this is a Christian country, and why this is all happening here. But I want to tell you, It's not about that. Because those who follow Bible, we are living in America, but it's not mean that we can take example of it. Okay, look at all these teens who are getting pregnant, they all are Christian. That's not true.
No.
They're not believers.
That's right.
But if you follow the Bible is strictly against that. It doesn't matter you are USA or Europe or wherever you are.
That's right.
Because it's not about the country, it's all about the Bible.
Amen.
We have to see what the Bible tells us.
That's right.
It's not, and we cannot see like, okay, all these teens and all these people are having all these things. We are thinking it means that there's something wrong in Christianity. No. Or something wrong in the Bible? No. Everything is wrong in those people
Yes.
who are doing this.
Yes.
For example, right now there's another thing is happening. Religious sin. Idolatry. Look at that. Now people, we are not following, for example, Christian, we are not following any kind of idol right now, right? We are not worshipping any idol. But you know what we are doing? Everything. Everything that you take as more important than God,
Yeah.
actually you are worshipping
That's
that.
right.
For example, if you're taking family first and then put God second, it's mean that's your idol.
Yeah.
If you're taking like putting your job, your finances, for example, anything else that if you're putting first, it's mean that's your idol. TV, for example, or anything that you're putting first and putting second God, that's your idol. We are not going and worshipping snakes or idols or like Hinduism doing all these. But we have these kind of things right now. These are our challenges that we have to face, and we have to get rid of that because we have to put God first and we have to worship Him, give Him more glory and honor and everything for Him first.
Amen.
And all of our love, strength and everything. That's very important. So this is all the flesh words. Now here, if you really look into it, he said, walk in the Spirit. What does it mean by that? Do you think that's a suggestion?
No.
Do you think, is it, God is suggesting you, I suggest you to walk in Spirit. Is there, if you are grammatically look into this, it says walk in Spirit, that's a command.
Amen.
God is commanding us to walk in Spirit.
Amen.
It's not our choice. I mean, it's not our, like God is suggesting us, oh, okay, please, or, no. God is telling us, it's a command to walk in Spirit. We have to walk in Spirit. If we are a believer, of course. If we are not a believer, of course you cannot walk in Spirit. It's not for you then. So it's very important that we have to walk in Spirit. Walk as a way of life, continually and regular action, not an option. Applies progress, leads from where we are and where we ought to be. Submission to the Spirit, direction to where God wants us to be. So what is mean by walking in Spirit? What do you think? If you are really truly Christian, what we need to do? Let's read with me Galatians chapter number 5, verse number 22 to 23. Galatians, same chapter, 5, 22 to 23. It says that, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such there is no law.
Amen.
So what is all these? These are all of the fruits of the Spirit. If we said that we are walking in Spirit, it means that we have to bear all these fruits. We have to have all these fruits in us if we are saying that we are walking in Spirit. For example, if you look at love, first and foremost, the greatest expression of Spirit's work. Look at the God, Jesus Christ, He died for us for what? For what reason? Because He loved us. I mean, He loves us. That's the reason that Jesus Christ died for us.
Amen.
That's why He came down from heaven and He came on this earth and He went on the cross just because He loves us. And He gave us the greatest commandment. He said that love your God with your full strength and with your soul and everything, and love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Amen.
That's the greatest commandment.
Yes.
Love.
Amen.
that's very important. If we say that we are walking in spirit, we have to have love. That's very important. The second thing is joy. Now joy, deep sense of all being, not humanly made. The joy of the Lord is your strength. Nehemiah 8:10 says, and joy comes from God, right? He gives to you. And there's a difference between joy and happiness, right?
Yeah.
The happiness comes for a moment of time, or happiness comes for occasionally. Happiness is only for a moment of time. But what about joy? Joy is with you all the time. And so you have to be more joyful than to be happy. Because happiness is all worldly. It's all worldly. You get worldly things, you got happy.
Right.
But joy comes from God and
Amen.
stays with you.
Amen.
So if you are want to walk in spirit, you have to have all these fruits. The next thing is, I'm going to go very quick. The next thing is peace. Of course, if you, it's like calmness of mind, peace, right with God. Peace doesn't come from circumstances, because you need to understand God is in control. If you understand that fact, you have peace in your life. Because if you believe that God is in control, that I'm okay, I have a peace, I'm not going to be worried, everything will be alright. But if you try to do things from your own perspective and with your own thinking, with your own struggle, with own efforts and everything, okay, this, and you're going to try to do this and that, you will not have peace. You will end up like, very tired and you will feel so bad. So peace, calmness of mind comes from God. Next thing is patience. Oh, bad thing. I mean, that's the hardest one. Patience. Oh God, everybody struggle with that, right?
Yes.
I struggle with that too. I mean, especially with the traffic. If there is, oh my goodness, if it's somebody's going too slow, oh no. So it's not easy. Patience. But of course we are building up.
Amen.
We are growing. The most important thing, if you're not growing, that's the problem. Because if water is stood like totally silent and stand and it's not moving, it's gonna give you smell after a little bit longer time. That if water is moving, so it looks like it's fresh, right?
Yeah.
So if you are just standing on one position in your spiritual walk, then it's not right. Something is wrong. You have to move forward.
Yeah.
You have to go further towards your destiny. Otherwise, not good. So patience is something, that's why this sermon is for me also. Because I need to focus on these things too. It's for everybody here.
Yes.
Are you still with me?
Yes.
Amen.
Say loud. Are you still with me?
Amen.
Amen?
Amen.
Good, very good. So, patient is what? Ability to endure injury or afflicted. If there's a problem, you have ability to endure it. I mean, to face it. But of course, we have to work on that. That's a very important one. The kindness. Of course, the deep concern for others. Genuine desire to treat others gently. God gives us ability to kind. And Jesus is the greatest example of kindness. How great he was to kind towards people and loving and caring and all these. We need this also in our life. Next is goodness. Moral and spiritual excellence. Goodness is high moral standard and kind action combined. So we have to also keep this one in our life. Next, I'm going to go quick. Faithfulness. Faithfulness is what? Loyalty, like strong loyalty, trustworthy, and Jesus is a supreme example of also faithfulness. Jesus was faithful first and he will return. Jesus keeps his promises. We are able to loyal to one another. Worthy of trust we have been granted. So faithfulness we need. Next is gentleness. Of course, possibly better to say meekness also. Gentleness, meekness, good towards other and all these things. The next one is self-control. That's also a hard one. Self-control. We need to work on that. Restrain in action and desire. And Jesus is also a great example of this too. Self-control. And people fail in that. And this is also, we need to work on that. So, today's conclusion, I'm going to come to the conclusion. So what's the conclusion? there is a battle between flesh and spirit. And what we need to do in every moment or every single day, we have to grow more in spirit, our spirit being. Because there is a three kinds of people. Just comes into mind. There is a three kinds of people. One is natural, second one is carnal, and third one is spiritual. What is natural person? A natural person who have nothing to do with God, and that person haven't accepted Jesus Christ Lord and Savior, so is totally in the world. What is carnal? The carnal person is the person who already accepts Jesus Christ, but he is struggling, he is going or moving forward. So he is in the place where he is not spiritually matured yet, but he is trying to move forward, and that's the carnal person. And next person is a spiritual person. And what is spiritual person? The person who knows God very well, and who is already a grown person or a mature Christian. But still, it's not mean that's a full stop time. I mean, it's not mean that you have to stop there. You have to move forward more and more every single day. But it's very important to understand that if we are in second category, carnal, then we have to struggle more and work more harder to get towards the spiritual person. Amen. Understand? Yes. So your flesh is always against you. For example, if there is a food table here, and you know that, doctor told you to not eat sweet. So what will happen? You will go there and you will look at that cake or whatever you like in sweet, ice cream or something, and you're going to try to say, oh, I'm not supposed to eat that. But your flesh will insist you to eat that, right? So your flesh is always trying to do things which is not right. I mean, that's just a simple example, but there's so many other things that your flesh wants to do, get desire from, get pleasure from it. But your spirit always comes on the way and says, no. But it's up to you how strong you are in your spirit. If your spirit is stronger, your spirit will rule on you and you're going in the right direction. But if your flesh is stronger, then you have to work hard. You have to move forward and make your spiritual man more stronger. So your flesh will not come on the way when you're trying to do things right. Alright? Thank you so much. God bless you.